As you begin to study verb tense and modality and verb aspect, I think this topic can be straightforward, although there is a lot of technical detail in it. It can be straightforward so long as you keep in mind that verb tense and time are distinct. But I find that there's something about the study of verbal forms that kind of lures people into thinking that somehow language and meaning are the same. And if that happens to you, then this topic will seem really confusing. So it doesn't have to be. Just bear with me while I mention this fairly basic and obvious thing. A word and its referent are not one and the same. So that in language, for example, we have the word red. It is a noise that a person makes, as I'm doing now, red. Or it could be markings on a page or a screen. Either way, red is a word, and in the world we have the characteristic of redness. Heaven forbid, if you hit your head and lost all use of language temporarily, you would still be able to perceive redness. So a word and its referent are not one and the same. Just for another example, the word cat, again, is a noise that a person makes, whereas a cat is a mammal. And when we say that a word and its referent are distinct, we could also mention linguistic units other than words, such as that s at the end of cats. The s at the end of cats is a noise that a person makes, s, that acoustic energy, whereas cats are multiple furry mammals. So noises and mammals are different things. Getting to verbs, the t at the end of walked is distinct from notions of time in the world. So here's where we get to the key point today. Verb tense and time are not one and the same. Let's put this into action. You explained it. Is explained in past tense? I'm guessing you're saying yes, that's past tense. And now my question to you is, how did you decide? Notice your train of thought. Was your train of thought maybe that the explaining took place earlier and that's why this is past tense? If that's what you were thinking in terms of time. But I didn't ask you, when did this happen? I asked you, is the verb in past tense? So this is, if you're going to think like this, things will get confusing. Instead, notice if this happens in a larger sentence, if you explained it, I would understand. The verb explained is still in past tense, even though the activity didn't happen earlier. In fact, it didn't happen at all. It's hypothetical. So it's going to be really helpful to remember that when we ask about tense, we are asking, what is the form of the verb? We are not asking about time. So verb tense is a property of language. It's the form of a verb. It's used to talk about time often, but when we ask about tense, we are asking about linguistic form.